Welcome back to Everybody Loves Scott. Again, we have the Templar M here, and I want to go over a little servicing, and it's regarding your air filter. Now, on your Templar M, do you know where to find your air filter? You can take the side panels off, you're not going to find it. You can remove the seat, you look, you can't find it. So what I'm going to do is actually show you where the air filter is, and we'll talk about the actual air box and some modifications you may want to do to improve the airflow into your carburetor. So let's go in the garage and we'll get started on this. Welcome to Everybody Loves Scott's, where I review China bikes and I document the experience of the bike.
When you get what you want, baby, I should start over.
Okay, so we're back in the garage. We've got the Templar and we're talking about the air filter. We're trying to figure out where's this air filter. You ride your bike in the dirt, you got to keep it clean because you know you want your carburation and everything just right. So before we get started here, let me show you what we're going to need. Just a few simple hand tools. We're just going to need a simple socket. I believe that's a 10 millimeter, 5/16, either one is good. Going to need a Phillips head screwdriver. Of course, you need a paper towel. And then I got some, I use an K&N cleaner and the oil. You can get whatever product you like. It's all good, whatever you choose to use. That's what I've got. So what we're going to do, we're going to start off to get to our air filter. I'm going to go ahead and remove the seat. And you just got a couple little bolts on the side here. One nice thing is you do not have to take the rack off. Take those off, kind of just pick it up a little bit and pull back, because you can see how it slides in and locks in the front here. Okay, now you can see the battery there. And believe it or not, your air filter is underneath the battery. So with that, let's just go ahead and get that disconnected. If you see extra wires, because that is the trickle charger that I have connected to it. You want to be careful not to lose those little nuts for these. Now, one thing about it being laid down on the side is I actually replaced the original battery and put this one in, and it's a gel battery. And the reason I did that, because I don't want any leaks. Okay, take the little rubber strap off. Just pull it straight up. Set it to the side. Okay, we have a few more bolts to remove here. Because we're getting closer to the air filter. You can actually see it down here. You can see a little bit right up in this area here. Yes, they just tuck it away. Some bikes you just actually remove the air filter from the side, and that would make it a lot easier. But this is what they chose to do. So you got 2 bolts in the back, 2 in the front. Okay. And then this tray comes out. You do have a relay attached here. You just pull that relay out. Set it up on top there. And now you can see the air filter. So I'm just going to set this over here. And I've been out in the dirt a few times, so it is a little dirty. And you can just spin this wing nut off to unscrew that. Not saying this is the best setup that they used here, but hey, it does work. Okay, got it loose. And I can just pull that filter out. Okay, now what we're going to do is I'm just going to set this aside for right now, and then I'll clean all that up. But let me put a light in there for you. So you can see down inside the air box here. Now, one thing is, before on the bike I did have saddlebags on the side, And this is actually the air inlet. Now it gets kind of restricted when you're looking at the fact they got the battery and everything in place here. So what I did is I actually put a vent on the side. I drilled a 1-inch hole, put a vent in there to get a little bit more air into the bike. Now, you can do whatever you want to do. I did that modification. I wanted a little more air in. If you get more air, you get more fuel. So that kind of plays into the whole rejetting of your carburetor. And I've done a video on that. And they do run lean. And the stock jetting was a 40 for the pilot jet and a 120 for the main. So I bumped it up to a 125 for the main jet and a 42 for the pilot, which it worked really good and everything because you can see the carburetor's over here is kind of tucked away. However, I did notice when I went off throttle that there was still some backfiring. And what that would indicate more than likely would be the pilot jet. So what I did is I removed the carburetor and I upped it to a 45. No more backfires, starts up great, everything. Now the way that I actually remove this, because I know some people tell you to take the manifold off in the front, that's difficult. It's as simple as taking the rear shock, there's the top bolt and then the bottom bolt, and you just remove both of those and the shock slides to the side. You can slide it right over, carburetor comes out no problem. So I did that, put it back in, warmed it up. It really didn't want to idle after I warmed it up, and the reason being is a little more fuel, it needed a little more air. So then I just took the idle mixture screw right here and I turned it up a little bit. Runs fantastic. So that's my recommendation. I'm at 2,000 foot, so that's the jetting that appears to be working really well for my bike. You know, you got to figure where you are and what you need to do and experiment with it a little bit. But by removing the shock and pushing it to the side there, it makes it so much easier than trying to come out the front. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to soak down the air filter and then I'm going to clean it and let it dry and then oil it. We'll come back and talk about that. But one other thing I wanted to talk about was, yes, I did change that battery. And the first time that I looked at my air filter, there was actually holes in it. And I wish I would have kept it to show you. And it appeared that the battery was leaking acid and it burned some holes in it. So then it was unfiltered air getting into the carburetor. So I just ordered one of these on Amazon. I think this was from a CRF 250, the Honda brand. You can just kind of find whatever works. You get a round style like that, they do fit, they work just fine. So that's my recommendation, is take a look at your air filter. If you have holes in it, you might want to consider going to a gel battery so that you don't actually have it leak and burn holes into the foam itself. So let me go clean the filter up. As soon as I get it cleaned up and dried, we'll be right back and we'll install that. Okay, we're back. I got the filter all cleaned up. It's dry. It took about an hour. So this is actually the foam filter that I have that I bought on Amazon. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and oil it up, put it back on the cage. And I take grease and I'm going to grease around here just to give it a good seal when you get it in the box. So it gets a little messy, so I'm going to put some gloves on for this. Okay, just give her a little spray. Okay, then I'm just going to put it in a bag here. Try to limit my mess. Just kind of squeeze it. That's getting the oil all up in there and all the way through it. And don't need it too soaked. Don't want it dripping wet or anything when you get it in your bike. And then I'll just smear a little grease around the edges here. This is optional. You can do it if you want. But I figure anything to keep the dirt out, because primarily I just use this bike for the trails anyway, so I figure a little extra protection couldn't hurt. Yeah, the original filter was very brittle. It was surprising. It wasn't soft at all, so I don't know what they used. You know, like I said, the battery actually leaking on it, that wasn't a good thing. Okay, now there's actually two little holes here, and you'll notice on your cage, it's got a little plug right there, so I'll just put it in one of these here. Keeps it from slipping back and forth. I'll get it inside there. Just kind of maneuver it on there. And then you got your mounting bolt. Okay, once you get your alignment, just start screwing it in a little bit till it's so you can see your threads. Okay, you can see the threads coming through right there. Okay, now we'll take it over to the bike. And I've already wiped out the dirt and everything in here because you kind of want to clean the dust and whatnot out of there. We'll get a little light on there. Okay, so I wiped it out. And you can see you just got a line to screw up right in this area here. And then you can see the little knob, the little pin, that's going to actually go into that slot right there. And then you have your alignment proper. Get your wires out of the way, it'll actually line up better. And it's just a matter of screwing it back in there. And just screw it all the way until it snugs down. You don't need to get it overly tight or anything. Okay. Appears to be sealed all the way around. That's what you want. So now you got it in there. Yes, it's messy. Wipe your hands down. So now at this point, it's just a matter of you're going to take your plate, reinstall it in here, and put your battery back in. Slap the seat on. Take it for a test drive. So there it is. This is how you can get your filter cleaned. And we talked about the carburation, some adjustments with that, and that's why this is important to have it clean. And thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks.